In the deepest part of the galaxy, where suns were rare and darkness ruled, there lived a race known as the Xerax. Intelligent, proud, and deeply logical, the Xerax believed they had mapped all knowledge in the stars. They had explored thousands of planets, recorded millions of species, and created a library so vast, even the ancients would bow before it. But there was one story they could never confirm, a myth, a dangerous, terrifying, ridiculous myth. They called it the Titans of Earth. Whispers of these beings existed only in forbidden texts and children's stories. They were said to be massive creatures from a dead blue planet named Earth, stronger than any species, fearless in battle, and dangerous even without weapons. Some stories claimed they destroyed entire empires in a single war. Others said they simply vanished. The High Council of Xerax had long banned any mention of them. They are fiction, the elders would say. A mistake from the primitive age, but some still believed. And one of them was a young officer named Kale Varan. The Forbidden Signal. Kale was no rebel. He followed rules, studied hard, and rose quickly in the military ranks. But he was curious, some said. When he was just a cadet, he found an old file in the military archives. A corrupted signal marked Terran origin, do not open. He opened it. What he saw made his blood freeze. There was no video, only audio. Static at first. Then a deep, broken voice spoke. Earth, we failed. If anyone hears this, do not come. Then silence. For years, Kale tried to decode more. The signal had no coordinates, no sender ID. It was ancient. Maybe thousands of years old. Still, it never left his mind. And then one day, the signal returned. This time, it came with coordinates. The forbidden system. Kale sat alone in his scout ship, his hands shaking. The coordinates led to a system no one had visited in over 600 years. It was marked Red Zone, Biohazard, Level 10. Double quotes Earth. He should have reported it. He didn, single quotes T. Instead, he set a course and jumped through hyperspace, leaving behind orders, ranks, and duty. When he arrived, his ship's sensors nearly collapsed. From the radiation, gravity spikes, and storm fields, Earth's orbit was surrounded by broken satellites, shattered ships, and metal wreckage floating like ghosts. The planet itself looked dead, but as Kale scanned deeper, he saw something impossible. Heat signatures. Underground. Thousands of them, and one word pulsed from deep beneath the planet's crust. Human. The landing. Kale landed his small craft in the remains of a massive city. Towers lay broken, metal twisted like paper, streets covered in vines. Earth had clearly died a violent death. He stepped outside, wearing a full exosuit. The air was thick, unbreathable, but the silence was worse. There were no birds, no animals, not even wind. Just stillness. He moved slowly through the ruins, scanning everything. Symbols of old Earth were still visible: flags, language, signs. One sign caught his eye: Titan Research Facility, Level Z. A broken elevator shaft led underground. He climbed down manually, torch in hand, heart pounding. And then he heard it. Footsteps. Heavy. Slow. Mechanical. Kale froze. He wasn't alone. First contact. The hallway was pitch black, only lit by his torch. Suddenly, lights flickered on by themselves. Emergency power? No, someone turned them on. He entered a large chamber. Giant tubes lined the walls. Most were shattered, empty. But one still held a figure. It was humanoid. Massive, at least 8 feet tall. Muscular, armored, and motionless. Kale stared in disbelief. It can't be. That's a human? He reached out. The eyes of the figure opened. The Titan awakens. The glass tube exploded, sending Kale flying back. The figure stepped out, dripping with some strange blue liquid. It looked at him with sharp, intelligent eyes. Then it spoke. "Who are you?" Kale stuttered. Kale Vuron, from the Xeric Empire. The human tilted his head. Never heard of it. Kale raised his scanner. Are you human? The figure nodded slowly. Once now, they called us Titans. Kale couldn't believe it. But humans are myths, legends, stories used to scare children. The Titan laughed a cold, hollow sound. Then I guess your galaxy forgot the truth. History repeats. Kale followed the Titan through the facility. The deeper they went, the more Kale saw armories, labs, command centers, all hidden underground. The Titan explained. Earth had been the center of a massive interstellar war. Humanity had risen too fast, too strong. The other species feared them, so they united and tried to erase humans. They failed, but Earth was destroyed in the final war. The last Titans went underground and entered stasis, waiting, watching. Signal had awakened them. You brought back a nightmare, the Titan said. And now, the stars will remember. Something awakens back in orbit. Kale's ship MI beeped a warning. Power spikes were rising from across the planet. Deep core energy, old weapon systems, satellite grids. Something ancient was waking. Up, Kale rushed back up top with the Titan. And then he saw it. A giant tower in the center of the city had lit up. Blue beams shot into the sky, forming a symbol in orbit. Titans of Earth. Operational. Suddenly, hundreds of signals lit up on his scanner. Other Titan facilities across Earth were activating. Kale stared in shock. There are more of you? The Titan smiled. You have no idea. The galaxy watches far across the galaxy. In the halls of the Xeric High Council, alarms rang. Forbidden systems had gone active. A signal was broadcasting across all known space. We are the Titans of Earth. We have returned. We remember everything. Panic spread. The myth was real. The council held an emergency meeting. Should we attack? Should we run? Should we make peace? No one agreed. But in the shadows, one old general whispered, we should have finished them when we had the chance. Final scene. The warning. Kale stood beside the Titan as Earth systems came online. The dead world was now glowing with power. Why return now? Kale asked. The Titan looked at the sky. We were never gone. Just sleeping. Waiting. And now? The galaxy will pay for what it did. Kale felt a chill. Are you going to start a war? The Titan turned to him slowly. No, we're going to end it. And in the silence, Earth whispered back to the stars for the first time in centuries. We are not myths. We are the storm you forgot. And now we are awake. Last time. Kale Vuron, a young Xeric officer, disobeyed orders and landed on Earth, a planet long thought to be dead. There, he discovered something terrifying. The Titans of Earth, ancient warriors of humanity, were not a myth. One of them, Commander Rael, awakened and declared, we were never gone. We were waiting. The silence breaks. The sky above Earth had changed. What was once dark and quiet now pulsed with energy. Satellites long thought to be space junk came alive. Blue beams of light shot through the clouds, forming symbols Kale didn't understand. Deep under the surface, in ancient bunkers, machines hummed. Facilities powered on after 600 years of sleep. Screens lit up. Weapons locked into standby. Kale watched everything from a rooftop. Why now? He whispered. Behind him, Rael answered coldly. Because your voice reached us. The galaxy screamed. We heard. An echo from the past in the hidden Titan bunker. Kale followed Rael into a command center. Holograms of Earth in its golden age floated in the air. Shining cities, giant ships, soldiers standing proud. What was this place? Kale asked. Rael stared at an old banner, a symbol of Earth's once great alliance. This was Fort Helix, a Titan control base. You're standing in the heart of our final defense. Kale looked at a broken chair with dust on it. Did you fight here? Rael didn't answer immediately. Then he said, "We died here." The betrayal Rail sat at a rusted control console and played a final log entry. A human voice, tired and cracked, spoke. "If this is the end, then let it be known. We didn't start the war. They did. The Unity Treaty was a lie. The moment we advanced faster than them, they turned. They called us monsters, so we became titans." Kale stared in disbelief. "You mean the galaxy turned against humans first?" Rail nodded slowly. "They feared us. They united to destroy us. So we built something they couldn't stop." He tapped the floor. "US." The network awakened suddenly. Alarms echoed through the facility. Red lights blinked. A nearby screen flickered on. A soft robotic voice said, "Terran Defense Network activated. Signal lock, incoming." Kale leaned forward. "What is it?" "Rails." Eyes narrowed. A response. The signal came from deep space. A strange repeating sound. Echo-Titan ... Protocol 0 ... Alpha Prime. Helix link confirmed ... Rail stood. "They're calling us." Kale asked, "Who?" Rail's voice dropped. "The other bunkers. Old giants, new light across Earth. Ancient hidden facilities started to open. Giant steel doors lifted for the first time in centuries. From the frozen wastelands to the deserts, underground pods released gas and began unlocking. Inside them were more titans. Some had armor. Some were connected to machines. Some still slept. But one by one, their eyes opened. Some were confused. Some were angry. But all of them remembered, and they all heard one thing in their minds. Awaken. Earth calls. Xeric Command responds far away in the Xeric homeworld. The High Council watched Earth's activation with panic. "This is not a drill," said Commander Rivek. "They are real. Humans have returned." One elder said, "We must destroy Earth now." Another warned, "If they have titans, it may be too late." The debate became louder, but one voice rose above the rest, a calm, cold diplomat named Siren Vuzdot. She spoke quietly. "It's not Earth I fear. It's what happens when others start following them again." The council fell silent, because she was right. Back on Earth, Rail's choice inside Fort Helix. Rail stood before a cryopod, frozen, with frost on the glass. Inside it was a woman. A titan. Kale asked, "Who is she?" Rail looked down. Her name was Astra. She was my second in command. And something more. Kale noticed Rail's hands shake. "Can you wake her?" Rail stared at the controls. "I don't know. The damage is old. If I fail, she dies for good." Kale put a hand on his shoulder. "Then don't fail." Astra awakens. It took 3 hours to restore power to the cryochamber. Rail worked in silence, carefully repairing old wires, realigning cores, and recalibrating the pod. Finally, he pressed the activation key. Steam burst from the edges. Lights blinked from red to green. Astra gasped and sat up fast, her hands reaching for a weapon. She looked around, confused, alert, ready to kill. Rail stepped forward. "Astra, it's me." She blinked twice, then whispered, "Rail, is it over?" Rail shook his head slowly. "No, it's just beginning." The message goes out with Astra now awake and Titan systems online. Rail stood at the central terminal. A glowing orb hovered above the console, a galaxy-wide beacon. He looked at Kale. "This is going to change everything." Kale nodded. "Then do it." Rail placed his hand on the orb. "This is Commander Rail of Earth. We are not extinct. We are not broken. The Titans have returned to the galaxy. This is not a warning. This is a memory, a reminder of what you tried to destroy." He paused. "We are humanity, and we are still here." He ended the message. The signal blasted across the stars. Fear in the stars. Every major species in the galaxy received the message. Vor Dominion, the Kalari Hive, the Scythian Swarm, all ancient enemies of Earth, were thrown into chaos. On Vor Prime, General Kor shouted. They live? Impossible. His advisors panicked. Some wanted to strike first, others wanted peace, but Kor had no doubts. Ready the fleet. Earth must burn again. Kale's dilemma. Kale sat outside the facility, staring up at the stars. He was supposed to report back. He was supposed to leave, but he couldn't. These were not monsters. They were warriors, survivors. And everything he had been taught was a lie. Rael joined him. You're thinking of leaving. Kale didn't answer. Rael asked, will you warn them, your people? Kale looked him in the eyes. No, I want to see how this ends. Rael gave a small smile. And stay close, Kale. The real storm is coming. Final scene. Unseen eyes in a secret moon station far from Earth. Someone watched the Titan signal. A hidden figure, face masked, turned to a shadow council. They've awakened. It's sooner than we expected. One voice replied. Then Project Silencer must begin. If we don't stop them now, the humans will rise again. The masked figure nodded. Double quotes. And if they do? Silence, then a cold answer. Then we burn everything. Previously, Kale Vurun, a Xeric officer, discovered that Earth is not dead. The Titans, ancient enhanced humans, were asleep underground. Now Rael and Astra, two powerful Titans, have awakened. Rael sent a signal to the galaxy. We are humanity. We are still here. But in the shadows of the stars, enemies are moving. Chapter 1. Preparing for the storm. Fort Helix was no longer silent. Giant screens glowed, machines worked, and corridors filled with footsteps. More Titans were awakening. Rael stood on the command deck, watching the status report. Bunkers online, 12 out of 27. Titans active, 93. Global defenses, 37% operational. Kale watched in awe. The once dead Earth now breathed power again. Is this an army? He asked. Rael replied, no, this is survival. These Titans are the last of us. Astra stepped forward. Then we train them. We bring them back to strength. Rael nodded. And we prepare for war. Chapter 2. The enemy stirs on the other side of the galaxy, inside a cold black fortress, the Vor Dominion. Met in crisis. Their emperor, a beast named Trez Kale, stared at Earth's signal on a floating screen. It can't be, he growled. We wiped them out. His war general Virok replied, they survived, somehow. Another alien lord stepped forward. Then we burn Earth again. Trezkal slammed his fist on the metal table. No, not yet. First, we spy. He looked at his top assassin, a slim creature with silver eyes named Syrinx. Go to Earth, hide, learn their strength. And if needed, kill the leaders. Syrinx bowed and vanished. Chapter 3. Titan training. The sun rose over a ruined battlefield near Fort Helix. Old rusted tanks, broken mechs, and twisted weapons lay silent. Scars from the final war. Now it became a training ground. Titans lined up, their eyes focused. Men and women, tall and muscular, with metal-enhanced bodies. Soldiers from a forgotten era. Astra walked in front of them. You are not just humans, she said loudly. You are Titans. You were built for war. And now, war returns. Rael stepped beside her. But you are not machines. You are hope, the last defenders of Earth. Training began. Gunfire echoed. Fists hit steel. Simulations ran full speed. Kale stood at the edge, watching it all. These people, they fight like gods. Rael replied, no, gods ask for worship. We ask for justice. Chapter 4. A spy among them. At night, when the base went quiet, a shadow moved through the vents. Syrx, the alien assassin, had arrived. Invisible to most scanners, he studied every corridor. He saw Rael and Astra. He heard their plans. He saw Kale moving freely among them. Strange, Syrinx thought. A Xeric is among the Titans? He followed Kale into the archives, an ancient library where old war records were kept. Kale activated. A screen reading files. Operation Iron Sky. The Unity Betrayal. Titan Uprising. He whispered, "They were right. My people did lie." Xeric smiled in the dark. "Good. A weakness." Chapter 5. Astra's past late one evening. Astra stood alone in a small garden deep under the base. It was the only place with real plants. Grown with care in a sealed dome, Kale found her there, watching a tiny flower bloom. "I thought Titans didn't have time for beauty," he said. Astra smiled faintly. "Before the war, I was a botanist. I loved life." Kale looked surprised. "You were? Gentle?" She turned to him, serious. "I still am. That's why I fight. Not for blood, but for what we lost." Then she walked away, leaving Kale thinking. Maybe these Titans aren't just warriors. Maybe they're more human than us. Chapter 6. The first attack had happened just after midnight. A sudden power surge, then explosions rocked the east gate of Fort Helix. Alarms screamed. Titans scrambled to positions. Defense turrets activated. Rail ran to command. "Status!" A technician shouted. "Stealth missiles from orbit." One of the bunkers destroyed. Kale's face went pale. That was no random strike. They found us. Outside in the burning field, black-armored alien machines landed. War drones. Claws, guns, plasma blades. Astra led a unit to engage. Them, for Earth. She shouted. The Titans moved like lightning, punching, slicing, firing back. One Titan jumped into the air, landed with a shockwave that shattered 10 drones. Kale watched in awe. This is why they were feared. Chapter 7. The trail uncovered inside the base. Xeric moved quickly, placing small virus chips into consoles. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his neck. "Rail, I knew I smelled a rat." Xeric tried to vanish, but Rail slammed him into the wall. "You followed Kale. You used him." Kale entered, shocked. "What's going on?" Rail held Xeric tight. "This assassin works for your people's enemies." Xeric hissed. "You're too late. The virus is in. Your systems will crash. The Vor are already coming." Then he bit down on a hidden capsule and turned to dust. Kale stood frozen. "I didn't know. I swear." Rail looked at him coldly. "You better hope that's true." Chapter 8. Trust-tested. Rail and Astra held a private meeting with Kale. Rail spoke first. "You brought that signal. You brought the assassin." Kale replied firmly, "And I helped wake you. I stood by your side. I didn't betray you." Astra added gently, "We believe you, but others may not." Rail turned away. "Then prove it. Fight with us. Stand as one of us." Kale nodded. "I will." Chapter 9. The Titans roar. The Vor invasion began the next day. From orbit, 5 capital ships approached Earth. Drones rained down. Plasma beams cut into the soil. But Earth was not weak anymore. Titans marched to battle, 200 strong. They wore ancient armor, powered suits, and carried weapons lost to time. Rail led them. No retreat, no surrender. We are Earth's voice. We are its final breath. Kale, armored now, stood beside Astra. The battle raged for hours. Drones exploded. Titans fell, but rose again. One Titan dragged a Vor walker to the ground and ripped it apart. Another leapt into a ship and overloaded its core. Kale used his Xeric training to disable an enemy beacon, saving a Titan squad. Astra, glowing with blue energy, stood on a pile of wreckage, shouting, "This is Earth, come and die." Chapter 10. Aftermath and warning. When the dust settled, the field was quiet again. The Vor fleet retreated. Earth had won, but it had cost lives. 15 Titans had died. 1 bunker was destroyed. Rail stood before the remaining Titans. They wanted to test us, to see if we were still strong. He looked at the sky. Let this be our answer. A beacon shot from Earth, stronger, brighter than before, a message to the entire galaxy. We are awake. We remember, and we are not afraid. Final scene. Far beyond in a hidden observatory, a hooded alien scientist whispered to his followers, "They have returned." Another asked, "Should we fear them?" The hooded one replied, "No, we should join them." Earth is no longer silent. The Titans, superhuman warriors, are rising again. Commander Rael, Astra, and Outsider Kale fought off the Ver's first strike. But many Titan bunkers remain offline. Enemies are gathering in the stars. And now, Earth must plan its next move. Chapter 1. Calling the Council deep inside Fort Helix. Rael stood before a massive round table, half metal, half ancient wood. It hadn't been used in 600 years. Kale walked in. "What is this place?" Rael stared at the glowing Earth symbol in the center of the table. "This is the War Council of Earth. When this table is active, it means the planet is in danger." One by one, the leaders of active Titan bunkers arrived. From North Eye Sector came General Loom, a quiet woman with silver cybernetic eyes. From the deep desert, Commander Drax, a heavy-built Titan with a plasma scar across his chest. And from the Sky Archipelago, Avon Vox, a young genius who led a team of awakened scientists. When they were all seated, Rael said calmly, "Welcome back to the fight." Chapter 2. Divided voices. The room grew tense. General Loom stood first. "We should stay hidden. Strike only when needed." Drax slammed his hand on the table. "No, they hit us first. We hit back harder. Take the war to their planets." Avon Vox adjusted his visor. "We barely survived one wave. More are coming. We need tech, not blood." Arguments echoed. Voices rose. Astra finally spoke. "Silence. Look around you. We're alive because we stood together. If we divide now, Earth will fall." Everyone quieted. Then Rael said, "We don't need just warriors or scientists. We need a plan." Chapter 3. Kale's proposal. Kale stepped forward nervously. Every Titan in the room stared at him, an alien among giants. "I may not be one of you," he began, "but I know the galaxy." He tapped on the console, showing a star map. "These are the systems that hate Earth, but not all aliens wanted you gone. Some feared you, others admired you." Avon asked, "You mean we have allies?" Kale nodded. "Maybe, but we need to find them, fast." Rael looked at Kale carefully. "You're suggesting diplomacy?" Kale shrugged. "It's better than extinction." After a pause, Rael smiled slightly. "Then you'll lead the mission." Kale blinked. "Me?" Astra added, "You're the bridge between Earth and the stars now." Chapter 4. The seeds of rebellion. Far away, on a mining world called Targon 5. Whispers spread. A small group of miners, humans who had escaped the fall of Earth, gathered in secret. Young woman named Leah stood on a crate. Her voice trembled with emotion. "You all saw the signal. Titans are alive. Earth breathes again." The crowd cheered quietly. "But our masters won't let us join them. So I say, we rise." The guards nearby were too late. A riot began. Flags of Earth were raised. And for the first time in 600 years, a rebel group named Children of Earth was born. Chapter 5. Journey to the Unknown. Rael prepared a small stealth ship for Kale. "I still don't trust the stars," he said. "But if there's even one chance someone out there remembers Earth with kindness, find them." Kale nodded. Astra handed him a sealed data crystal. "What's this?" he asked. "Our truth," she replied. "Show it only when it matters." As Kale flew away, Astra whispered to Rael, "Do you think he'll make it?" Rael answered softly, "If he doesn't, we fight alone." Chapter 6. Forgotten Friends. Kale's first stop was a gas giant orbit station, Vexus Prime. He met with An old species called the Lenther, once neutral traders. Their leader, Elder Sevek, eyed him carefully. "You carry Earth's scent," he said. Kale nodded. "I bring a message." "And a warning." He played part of Rael's signal and showed the data Astra had given. The room went silent. Sevek's voice was slow. "We remember Earth. You gave us medicine when the stars turned cold. We owe a debt." Kale leaned in. "Then help us pay." Sevek smiled. "We will speak to others, quietly. Earth may rise again, not alone." Chapter 7. Shadows on the Moon. Back on Earth, Astra investigated an old Titan base on the moon. Inside, she found broken machines. And something worse. The walls were marked with strange symbols. Not human. Vor? Her second-in-command asked. Astra shook her head. "No, this is older, much older. They found a sealed door with a message carved in English. They will return." "We are not ready." Astra's heart raced. "What is this place?" Suddenly, a blast. Half the room collapsed. A black creature emerged, not Vor, not alien. Something else. Astra fought it hand to hand. It bled black smoke. Then it vanished into the wall. She whispered, "This war is bigger than we thought." Chapter 8. Kale's capture. While returning from a diplomatic stop, Kale's ship was intercepted by a Scythian patrol, enemies of Earth. He was dragged into a dark prison ship. His arms chained. A Scythian leader, a tall insectoid general named Skarn, entered. "You bring human lies to weak systems," Skarn hissed. "You will die slowly." Kale grinned, despite the pain. "You're afraid. That's why you stopped me." Skarn raised a blade, but before he could strike, the ship shook violently. Boom! Another blast. Outside, Earth's Titans had arrived. In a fast attack craft, Rael, wearing full Titan armor, smashed through the prison wall. "Step away from the ambassador," Kale smiled. "Took you long enough." Chapter 9. A message ignites the galaxy with Kale rescued. Rael held a second broadcast. This time, it was not just to enemies, but to all surviving humans across the galaxy. The message was clear. "If you still carry Earth in your blood, come home. We are waiting." Screens blinked on in slums, in spaceports, on outlaw ships. Children stared in awe. Old veterans cried. In one forgotten colony, a man whispered, "I thought we were alone." People began painting the Earth symbol on walls. Hope, long dead, returned like fire. Chapter 10. A new threat rises at the edge of known space. In a dark system where no stars shined, a fleet was gathering. But they weren't Vor, not Scythian, not anything known. They were called the Architects, builders of ancient machines. Long ago they vanished. Now they were waking. Watching Earth. Preparing. One voice echoed inside their hive ship. "Titan signal detected." "Earth is active," another replied. "Then Phase 2 begins." Final scene. Earth prepares inside Fort Helix. The council met one final time that day. Rael looked at his generals. "A storm is coming, and not just Vor." Avayan said, "We have allies now," Drax added. "We have Titans." Astra stood. "Then we do what we were made to do." Rael placed his hand on the center of the council table. "We defend Earth, we bring our people home, and this time, we finish the war." The room echoed with a single word from every Titan. Titan. Kale helped Earth build new alliances. The Titans formed a war council. A dark new enemy, the Architects, awakened beyond known space. Rael sent a message to every surviving human. "Come home. Now a new chapter begins." As an old legend returns from the shadows. Chapter 1. The echo signal. Deep inside Fort Helix, alarms flashed red. A technician shouted, "Commander Rael, we've received a signal. Very old, but it's human." Rael entered quickly, followed by Astra and Avayan. "Vox, what kind of signal?" Rail asked. The technician swallowed nervously. It's coming from an off-grid system, a dead zone. Alvain tapped keys, analyzing it. It's encrypted using Titan code level 9. Astra's eyes widened. That code hasn't been used in 600 years. Rail stared at the coordinates. Whoever sent this, they were one of us. Chapter 2. The Black Zone. The system was called Zareth Prime, marked forbidden on most galactic maps. Rail, Astra, Kale, and a small Titan team entered its orbit in stealth mode. They saw a planet covered in ash, with strange glowing mountains and ancient wrecks. Kale looked out the window. Why would anyone hide here? Astra answered, to disappear. They landed near an old Titan structure, barely holding together. Inside, the walls were covered in drawings, hand-drawn maps, records, and strange alien symbols. A soft voice echoed through the hall. I wondered how long before you'd find me. Out of the shadows walked a tall man in tattered Titan armor. His left arm was missing. His eyes glowed faintly blue. Rail's voice dropped. No. It can't be. Chapter 3. The Fallen General. The man stood in silence for a moment. Then he said, I am Thalos Vyre, first general of Earth, exiled for betrayal. Astra stepped back. You disappeared during the final war. Kale looked confused. Why? Was he exiled? Rail replied coldly, because he led a Titan strike that destroyed one of Earth's own colonies. Thousands died. Thalos raised a weak hand. It wasn't a betrayal. It was a warning. He pointed to the ceiling where he had drawn a map of stars, many marked with red circles. They were already here, the architects. I saw them first. Chapter 4. A past uncovered. Kale listened carefully as Thalos explained. 6 centuries ago, Earth focused only on the Vor and other known threats. But there was something deeper. A race that didn't fight us. They studied us. Followed. U.S. Having examined the maps, these aren't just star charts. They're movement patterns. Thalos nodded. I tracked them. I begged the Council to act. They ignored me. I took matters into my own hands, and I was punished. Rail's jaw tightened. You cost innocent lives. I was trying to save them. Thalos shouted. The room fell silent. Astra finally spoke. Then prove it. Help us now. Thalos looked down. I don't know if I deserve that chance. Kale stepped forward. Then earn it. Chapter 5. The Architect's first touch. Just as they prepared to leave Zareth Prime, the ground shook. Outside, a black ship appeared from nowhere, hovering silently. It didn't fly with engines. It floated like a thought in the air. Rail shouted, Everyone move! The ship opened. Not with doors, but with bending light. Out came the first architect soldier, tall, thin, metal bones, no face. Only a bright sphere where the head should be. It didn't fire. It simply observed. Then it spoke without a mouth. Thalos Vyre, you broke the pattern. You must return. Thalos stood still. I will never follow your code. The architect extended its hand. From it came a pulse wave, no noise, but full force. Rail tackled Thalos, saving him just in time. The Titans opened fire, but their weapons passed through the creature like smoke. Astra yelled, Aim for the core. Kale switched to manual mode and fired a direct EMP shot at the sphere. The creature staggered. Rail shouted, Now! A Titan leapt and crushed the core with a plasma axe. The body disintegrated into dust. Chapter 6. Hidden technology. Back on Earth, Avian studied the architect. Remains. This is beyond anything I've seen. It's like living code. It adapts. Astra paced the room, and it wanted Thalos. Thalos, now back in a clean Titan uniform, stood quietly. They trained me, he admitted. Long ago. After my exile. I was wounded. They found me, tried to rewrite me. I broke free, but they still call me one of theirs. Kale frowned. So they don't just fight, they convert. Rael looked at the council. If we don't act now, they'll do the same. To every human colony. Chapter 7. Rael's Decision: The War. Council met in full. Arguments exploded across the table. General Drax: we kill Thalos now. He's compromised. Loom: we use him. He knows the enemy. Avayan: we study architect tech before more arrive. Rael raised his hand. Silence. He stared at Thalos. You betrayed Earth once. But today, you saved Kale. You face the architects again. Thalos replied, give me a squad. I'll find their central node, shut them down from the inside. Rael's voice was heavy. One mission, one chance, succeed. And your name returns to honor. Thalos saluted. Chapter 8. Across the ice rinks, Thalos, Kale, and a Titan recon team traveled to a frozen moon beyond the outer system, a place shown on architect charts. The surface was lifeless, but under the ice, a hidden lab pulsed with light. Inside, strange machines held half-built creatures, human shapes, mixed with metal. Kale whispered, they're trying to build Titans. Thalos found a central data spike. This is it, their transmitter. As he began to extract the data, alarms blared, walls opened. More architect soldiers appeared, this time in dozens. Kale shouted, trap! A battle began. Thalos fought with rage and guilt. Titans covered him. Kale hacked the data and grabbed a glowing cube. Got it, go! One Titan sacrificed himself to collapse the cave behind them, sealing the architects in. They escaped barely. Chapter 9. Home and Hope. Back at Fort Helix, the cube was decoded. Avian's eyes widened. This is it. Their blueprint. Everything. How they move, what they want. Rael looked at the team. We finally have the advantage. Kale placed a small Earth flag on the table. Others are rising. Colonies, rebels, even aliens. They believe now. Astra added, then it's time, not just to defend Earth. Rael finished, but to take back what was stolen. Final scene, the first Earth fleet in orbit above Earth. Massive shipyards lit up. Titan battlecruisers, human-made dreadnoughts, and stealth scouts began launching. The first true fleet in 600 years. Kale stood next to Astra on a platform. Do you think we're ready? She smiled faintly. No, but we're finally together. Thalos watched from a distance, armor freshly restored. Rael gave the signal, and with that, Earth began its return to the stars. Thalos, the exiled Titan, returned with crucial knowledge about a new enemy, the Architects. Kale and the Titans recovered a glowing cube with their secrets. Earth built its first space fleet in 600 years. Now, a distress call comes from deep space. A human colony under siege. Chapter 1. The cry from Galva. Fort Helix received a signal, weak, damaged but human. Kale ran into the command room. It's from the colony of Galvath 9. Astra checked the data. Population, 80,000, mostly workers and children. No defenses. Rael clenched his fist. Location? Edge of the galaxy. Avian replied. It's burning. They're under attack right now. The screen flickered. A woman's voice came through, broken and desperate. This is Governor Leah Sorn. Of Galvath, to any human signal, please. They've come from the clouds, not Vor, not known. The feed ended. Rael gave the order without pause. Send the fleet. We fight today. Chapter 2. Earth's first fleet above Earth. A new symbol appeared, not just a flag, but a sign of power. Titan Fleet 1 launched. 5 heavy dreadnoughts, 8 stealth cruisers, 12 fighter wings, and 1 command vessel, the EHS Valiant, led by Rael himself. Kale, Astra, and Thalos boarded the Valiant. You sure this is the right call? Kale asked. Rael answered. We sent a message to the galaxy. If we don't answer this cry, it means nothing. Chapter 3. The arrival at Galvath. When the fleet entered Galvath space, The scene was terrifying. Black clouds circled the planet. Giant silver structures floated in orbit, architect towers. On the surface, explosions lit the cities. Civilian ships tried to escape, but many were destroyed by strange energy beams. Rail shouted, "Deploy all wings, get those civilians out." Astra led the fighter squadron. Kale worked tactical control. Thalos stood at the war table, analyzing the towers. They're not just ships, they're terraforming the planet. Changing it. Into what? Kale asked. Thalos stared grimly. Into something they can control, a machine world. Chapter 4. In the firestorm, the Valiant descended through the clouds. Fighters roared ahead. Astra's voice crackled in Kale's earpiece. "We're losing pilots, their drones are everywhere." Rail gave new orders, focus on the central tower. "We cut that, the others may fall." On the ground, a Titan landing squad prepared for a risky mission. Destroy the main architect structure from inside. Kale and Thalos volunteered to go with them. Astra grabbed Kale's arm. "You sure?" He smiled weakly. "You said I was part of this now." Chapter 5. Inside the tower, the team landed on a burning ridge. Storms raged above them. The tower stood tall, dark metal, glowing patterns, moving like it was alive. Inside it was silent, no guards. No traps. Only voices. Kale heard whispers. "You do not belong. Leave before you break." Thalos moved forward. "Ignore them, it's psychological warfare." They reached the core chamber, a sphere floating mid-air, pulsing with data. A soldier placed an energy bomb, but before he could arm it, the walls melted, revealing 2 architect sentinels, faster than before, smarter. Thalos charged. "Protect the bomb." Chapter 6. Thalos falls again. The battle was brutal. One architect blasted a soldier straight through his armor. Kale used his energy pistol, aiming for the cores, but one of the sentinels focused on him, lifting Kale in midair with invisible force. Suddenly, Thalos tackled it, sacrificing himself again. "Finish the mission," he yelled. Kale crawled to the device, activated the timer. 20 seconds. They ran. The tower shook. Outside, Astra watched as the main tower exploded, the blast pushing back the storm clouds. All remaining architect ships froze, then self-destructed. Galvath was saved. Chapter 7. Cost of victory. The fleet gathered survivors. Children, wounded, families. Governor Leah Sarin came aboard the Valiant, tears in her eyes. "You came," she whispered. "We thought Earth had forgotten us." Rail placed a hand on her shoulder. "Never again." Kale sat alone, holding Thalos's broken helmet. Astra sat beside him. He earned his second chance. Kale nodded. "But I think it's just beginning." Avayan messaged in. "That cube Thalos gave us, there's something new, a location." "And a message," Rail entered. "What kind of message?" Avayan looked up. "It's from Earth, but from 700 years ago." Chapter 8. A ghost from the past. The message was a video. A man stood in old Titan armor, ancient even by today's standards. He looked young but tired. "My name is Commander Elric Dawn. If you're seeing this, Earth is in danger, and I failed to stop it." He spoke of the first architect contact, a mission covered up by early human governments. He spoke of a hidden planet, Project Solace, where Earth's greatest minds hid something powerful. If Earth falls, Solace may be our last hope. But beware, they are watching. The screen went black. Astra stood stunned. Project Solace was a myth, Rail whispered. "Not anymore." Chapter 9. The next war begins. The victory at Galvath sent waves across the galaxy. More colonies lit up Earth's symbol. The children of Earth grew in numbers. Even alien factions began to whisper, "The Titans are back." But the architects did not sleep. In a distant void, a hive planet came to life. A deep voice echoed inside. Their flame flickers. "Send the Harbinger." A massive creature, part machine, part thought, opened its glowing eyes. It began its journey. Toward Earth. Final scene. Earth unites back on Earth. Rail stood before the council. We saved Galveth. But the war is only beginning. Kale placed the solace coordinates on the table. This is our next step. Astra nodded. And we'll need more than Titans. We need everyone. Rail looked at the screen, showing new Titan recruits, scientists, colonists, even aliens joining the cause. Then let's build something new. The camera zoomed out. Earth glowed beneath the fleet. Not broken. Not lost, but ready. Earth's new Titan fleet saved the Galveth colony. Thalos gave his life to stop the Architect Towers. Kale and Astra discovered a 700-year-old message from Commander Elric Dawn, warning of a secret human project called Solace. Now, the journey begins toward the hidden past of humanity. Chapter 1. The Path to Solace. The coordinates led to a system with no name. Not on any map. Not in any archive. Avon stood at the Valiant's control room, eyes wide. There's no star here. Just a cloud. Kale stared at the black fog outside their ship. This is wrong. There's no light. Astra tapped her screen. Actually, there is. It's artificial. Rail stood behind them. Activate shields. We're going in. The fleet moved through the cloud and emerged into something stunning. A giant Dyson structure built around a small, man-made star and orbiting it. One single planet, carved into its surface, glowing in blue. Project SOA Le Scepter 2, the Silent World. The planet was beautiful, green forests, blue skies, snow-covered peaks. But it was empty. No people, no animals. No sound. Kale, Astra, Rail, and a small team landed on the surface. The buildings were perfect, clean, untouched. It's like someone pressed pause. Kale said. They entered a central command tower marked Sector 1. Inside, lights flickered. As if expecting them, a voice spoke from nowhere. Welcome, Titans. You are 681 years late. A hologram appeared, a woman in a white coat. I am Dr. Ellen Vire, lead geneticist, Earth Preservation Command. Rail frowned. Vire. Related. To Thalos? Astra whispered. His mother. Chapter 3. The last safe place. The hologram walked through halls of memory. This facility was Earth's insurance. She explained. When we feared extinction, we created Solace, a place to store not just DNA but ideas, technologies, and memories. She showed vaults of genetic data, records of old Earth history, and prototypes of weapons far beyond anything the Titans had ever seen. Astra stepped into one room and froze. Inside stood a prototype Titan suit to 10 meters tall, but more organic than mechanical. Alive. Kale looked at another chamber. What's this? A hologram replied. The Dawn Mind. An AI built from Commander Elric Dawn's neural core. The only one who ever spoke with the architects and survived. Chapter 4. The ghost mind. Kale approached the core. It pulsed faintly. Avon activated it. Suddenly, the walls darkened. A tall man appeared, half light, half shadow. Elric Dawn. His voice was tired but firm. You finally came. Kale asked, What happened to you? Elric replied, I tried to warn them. They erased me. So I became memory. He walked past the group, showing them visions of the past, Earth's first contact with the architects. They never wanted war, at first. They came to study us, learn our patterns. But humans didn't follow patterns. They feared that. Astra asked, So they decided to destroy us? No, Elric said. Worse, they decided to change us. Chapter 5. The core secret. Elric showed one final room, a sealed vault. Inside, a small black cube floated in a magnetic field. That is the Genesis code, Elric explained. A rewrite key. Whoever controls it can alter human DNA, or even architect code, Rael's voice hardened. Why wasn't this used before? Elric stared at him. Because it's dangerous. In the wrong hands, it could destroy free will. Suddenly, sirens blared. Unknown vessel entering Solace orbit. Avayan said. Kale ran to the window. A black ship, massive and terrifying, hovered. Above, the architects had found them. Chapter 6. The Harbinger descends. A deep voice echoed across the sky. You carry what is not yours. From the black ship, a single figure descended. The Harbinger, a giant being made of shifting parts and red light. It hovered in front of the Titans. Astra aimed her weapon. The Harbinger spoke again. We are the pattern, you are the break. It raised its hand and gravity around them. Bent, soldiers collapsed, unable to move. Rael shouted, protect the Genesis code. Elric's hologram activated defense systems. A massive pulse of energy shot toward the Harbinger. It vanished, not destroyed. But watching, Kale looked at the others. We have something they fear. Chapter 7. What must be done? The team escaped. The planet with the Genesis code secured in a stasis box. Back aboard the Valiant, the Council argued, General Loom, use it. Reprogram ourselves. Become stronger. Avayan, no, that's playing God. Kale looked at Rael. What would Thalos have done? Rael answered, he believed choice made us human. Astra placed a hand on the code. Then let's use it, not to control, but to heal. They agreed. The Genesis code would stay sealed, but studied, only to be used if Earth faced final extinction. Chapter 8. The sparks of rebellion. As the fleet prepared to leave Solace, a message came through. Titan Outpost Sigma has been attacked. Survivors taken. Rael narrowed his eyes. The architects aren't just attacking, they're collecting. Kale replied. What for? Avayan decoded part of the data recovered from Solace. His voice shook. They're building a human architect hybrid, a leader. A voice to replace Elric Dawn. Astra looked up, horrified. They're trying to create a human they can control. Rael gave the next order. Then we find that lab and burn it down. Final scene. A new Titan awakens in the shadows of an unknown world. A lab flickers. Inside, a chamber lights up. A young figure floats in liquid, half human, half machine. Eyes open. A voice speaks. Name Kale. The clone tilts its head. Objective. End the original. Earth's heroes discovered Project Solace, a hidden facility with the Genesis code, capable of rewriting life itself. But the architects found them, sending a terrifying being called the Harbinger. Before retreating, the architects stole survivors and began building a human architect hybrid. A clone of Kale. Chapter 1. Shadow reflection on a dark world, known only as a prime. The clone floated in a metal chamber. He looked like Kale, sounded like Kale, but something was missing. Emotion. Choice. The architect surrounded him. Data flowed into his mind. You are Kale too. You will end the original. The clone spoke slowly. I will end the break in the pattern. Chapter 2. Earth's last stand. Back on Earth, alarms screamed. Satellites showed architect fleets heading straight for the Sol system, over 3,000 ships. And leading them, the Harbinger. And Kale. 2. Inside Fort Helix, panic spread. Rael stood in front of the Global Council. This is it. They're not testing us anymore. They're coming to erase us. Avayan nodded. We use everything, Titans, fleet, weapons from Solace. Kale stood quietly in the corner, fists clenched. They're using my face to kill my people. Astra put a hand on his shoulder. Then let's remind them what being human means. Chapter 3. The battle begins in orbit. Earth's fleet waited. Titan suits stood on space platforms, ready. Then, blackness. The architect ships arrived. Rael stood aboard the Valiant, giving orders calmly. Let them come. Hold formation. Kale suited up in a prototype Titan armor, the same one found on Solace. Astra led the strike wing. The first class shook the heavens. Lasers, plasma, MP blasts. Hundreds of ships burned. On both sides, but Earth held. Then, a signal broke through. A voice, cold and empty. Kale, I am you. Surrender. Chapter 4. Kale versus. Kale on the surface of Mars. The two Kales met. Original. Clone. They looked the same. Moved the same, but one had heart. The other had only code. The clone raised his weapon. I was made to fix your failure. Kale activated his armor. My failure? I chose to think for myself. That's why I'm still here. They fought. Fists, blades, blasters. The red sands turned to fire. The clone was faster, stronger. But Kale was unpredictable. He remembered Astra's words. Emotion is not weakness. It's power. Kale used a move based on instinct and knocked the clone down. But he didn't finish him. You're not me. But you don't have to be them either. Chapter 5. A choice unexpected. The clone stood up, confused. I don't understand. Why not kill me? Kale replied, because I made a choice. Now you can too. For the first time, the clone hesitated. Suddenly, the Harbinger arrived, towering over both. You are broken, it said to the clone. You were not meant to feel. It raised its hand to destroy its own creation, but the clone stood. In front of Kale, no. He attacked the Harbinger, using all his power. Run! He shouted. Kale escaped as the Harbinger crushed his clone. But in that moment, Kale too became something more human. Chapter 6. The Titan line. Meanwhile, on Earth, the architects broke through. Cities burned. The sky turned black. Then, Earth's secret came alive. Titan cores hidden deep. Underground activated. Dozens of sleeping suits rose from the Earth. Ancient. Powerful. Unstoppable. Astra led the final charge in the air. Rail and Kale returned with a plan to use the Genesis code to overload the architect hive. But it would cost someone their life. Someone had to upload it directly from inside the core ship. Kale volunteered. No, Rail said. You're more than this. Kale replied. So was Thalos. Chapter 7. One last mission. Kale boarded a stolen architect drone ship and flew alone into the hive. The Harbinger sensed him. You again? Kale smiled. Just a fairy tale, right? He uploaded the Genesis code. The architect systems glitched and then began to break. Pattern collapse detected. Echoed across the hive. Kale looked at Earth from orbit. He whispered, we lived. We mattered. Chapter 8. The end of the architects. The architect fleet lost control. Ships exploded. Structures collapsed. The Harbinger screamed as it was pulled into a black hole. Its own creation turned against it. On Earth, people watched. The sky turned blue again. The war was over. But Kale was gone, or so they thought. Final scene. The Spark lives months later. Astra visited a quiet cliff. She placed Kale's old badge on a stone. You saved us. Suddenly, a shadow appeared. She turned and smiled. Kale stood there, wounded, burned, but alive. I missed home, he said. Astra ran to him. You idiot. Rail and Avian soon joined. Behind them, new Titans trained. Humanity was no longer a myth. It was a force. It had survived.